direct your attention to the big screens.
I'm a Denver native. My mom and dad were both musicians. I learned to play the accordion when I was 5 years old. My mother had a cousin that owned a farm, and the farm was just north of Denver. And when I was 12 years old, they invited me to go work on the farm. I did that literally until the day before I went to work at First National Bank of Denver. It was the largest bank in Denver. I advanced very quickly. And as it turned out, 20 years later, I became chairman, president, and CEO of the bank. The banking business gave me a very good background in finance, in planning, in understanding economics, but they also taught me how important it is to be part of the community. And that was part of the reason why I got involved with the National Sports Center for the Disabled. And I was teaching blind kids to ski. That was my first real involvement with Winter Park. One of the board members from the resort pulled me aside and he said Jerry Groswald was going to retire. And they were starting a search for a new CEO for Winter Park. I knew I was going into a resort that was run by someone who was very well respected, who knew the business as well as anybody in the world. And while I might know the financial side of the business, and I had some passion for skiing and some of my farming background might carry forward, I knew it was going to be a difficult challenge for me. Nevertheless, it was something I just felt I couldn't pass up. There's a lot of things going on with the resort at that point in time. One of the biggest challenges was that the industry had started to see consolidation. We were owned by the city and county of Denver. We were paying the city a $2 million dividend each year, and we had no ability to raise capital. I knew the financials, and I knew we could borrow money, but I knew there was a limit. And in fact, about 3 weeks after I got there, I did get a call from the bank. They said, we're going to freeze the line. I was concerned about getting through that first year and having enough cash to get through the summer. And we came up with the idea of what was called the Friends and Family 4-pack. We decided, let's sell these in March. It was wildly successful. It was shortly after that that I started having conversations with Wellington Webb, who was then mayor, about what we needed to do differently at Winter Park. The mayor said, I'm not going to be the mayor to sell Winter Park. Go find us a partner. So we structured a deal with IntraWest. We put over $50 million in maintenance capital over the first few years. We expanded the ski terrain. We've added lift, a retail business. Today the resort has 13 restaurants. There's over 500 lodging units at the base of the mountain. So what has happened is the resort has turned into a true destination resort. And as a matter of fact, the city is now getting over $3 million a year. It was a lot of work. I enjoyed every minute of it. And we had such good support. The ski train had been part of our history since the day Winter Park opened. For me, sort of the crown jewel of my career was finally getting that train to come back. The nice thing about Amtrak, they had all the infrastructure that was needed to run this train. We worked primarily with Union Pacific because they owned the majority of the tracks. We built the platform out and we started running the train last year in January. We ran every Saturday and Sunday, January through March. Incredibly successful. In fact, so successful that Amtrak is going to run it now the first Friday of every month. The enthusiasm level was just great. What was so attractive is you could fly into a world-class airport at DIA. You can take a train to downtown Denver. The next morning, you get on the train and ride the train to Winter Park. And it drops you off 50 yards from a lift. And what a great way to come to Winter Park and see the world from the eye of a train. Colorado is one of the best ski destinations in the world. And having this train go into Winter Park, it makes us unique. When we would go overseas to ski shows, that's what everybody wanted to talk about. Tell us about your train. I want to see the resort continue with the success that we've had. I want to see them continue developing people. I miss the people a lot. Winter Park's a great culture. It's a very friendly environment. It's a very inclusive environment. And I hope that continues to sophisticate and continues to grow.
I love Winter Park. I'm going skiing tomorrow up there. Please welcome to the stage, DeFrange.
wonderful reception. You know, I can't begin to tell you what it means to me to be recognized like this by the city that I was born in. I grew up here, and the state where I've spent my entire life. This is just incredible, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I really want to thank the people from Visit Denver. What a wonderful group for putting the evening together for us. I want to thank the committee that selected me for this event and selected me for this honor. And I really want to thank the folks from Impact Productions for that great video. And Richard, now that you know that I have abilities with the accordion, I'm sure that as you bring in talent from around the world that I'll be included in that. You know, I've learned over my career that individual success really is a team sport. And I wouldn't be here today without all the people that helped me learn, that mentored me, that worked with me, that provided all the ideas that we implemented and did a great job of implementing. There are far too many people for me to mention individually, but I will tell you, my sister and I were very fortunate. We grew up with two parents that taught us the importance of education, work ethic, and integrity. And I carried that with me all the way through my career. I learned so much from so many different people, but a couple of the groups that I really want to recognize, first are my colleagues from Winter Park Resort. They're here tonight. What an incredible team of people that I had to work with. They came up with incredible ideas, did a great job of implementing all the ideas we had, and I just couldn't think of a better group of people to work with. National Sports Center for the Disabled, that's the organization I started with. They're such a wonderful organization. They're known around the world. They're the best in the world at teaching people to not only ski now, but snowboard, to bike, to do river rafting throughout the year, and I'm so proud of having been involved in that. And I've been really fortunate over the last 25 years to be on the board, and for the last 10 years, chairman of the board of AAA Colorado, the Auto Club. And they taught me so much about the travel business. But I will tell you, there's one person that I do have to mention individually, and that's my wife, Michelle. We've been married almost 30 years now. She has supported every crazy career decision that I've made, including those that required us to move. She's been particularly supportive of me while I've been in the ski business. And I will tell you, the ski business is one that I just couldn't think of a better place for me to be with my experience. But it's also one which a good friend of mine told me that there's ample opportunity every day for things to run amok at the most unusual times. And that caused a lot of cancellations of trips and events, and Michelle has been there. Michelle, thank you. You've made me a better person than I really am. And now that I've recently retired, I want you to know I'm finally all yours. And may the good Lord and the saints and angels in heaven help you with that process. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here this evening. Thank you for your support